everyone, and a warm welcome to this episode of Strengther, an initiative of CXO Digital Pulse that brings to you inspiring stories of resilience, courage, and innovation of women who have made a mark in the industry. And today, we have a guest with us who has been in the marketing space for over 2 decades and have worked with more than 10 tech organizations. That's amazing. And currently, she is the head of marketing for India and SAARC region at F5. Please have a warm welcome for Vaishali Shivshankar. So, Vishali, we have heard a lot about you, and your LinkedIn itself speaks for yourself and your experience. But we will delve a bit more into you as a person. And for that, we'll start with a rapid fire round. The only rule is that you need to be spontaneous, and here we go. So, very
And
first
do I
one.
get any hamper? Do you give me some coffee hampers?
That's a surprise for you.
Okay.
Okay, so we'll start with first one. So, your spirit animal.
Lion,
Okay. And you're a cat person or a dog person?
neither. I'm an eagle.
Okay. So, what's your strategy? Disrupt or adapt?
Okay, so I have this disruptive mindset with an adaptive nature.
Okay, so that I would say was a very thought through answer. Then,
It's not thought through because I'll tell you why. Like I always try to cut across what the whatever is the standard thing I need to disrupt does and think outside what is in a forward thinking. And you really need to adapt to the current environment because change is only constant. Nothing
true.
remains. So for that reason, always think outside the box, be innovative, but try to sustain yourself in the changing environment.
Great. So, tech gadgets or traditional tools?
Any day tech gadgets.
Great. Wall Street or Silicon Valley?
I'm a Silicon Valley person. Not a Wall Street.
Okay, that was great, Vishali, I would say. Now we'll move to the main questions with you. So, as you know, we are celebrating International Women's Day, and gender equality is becoming a hot topic of discussion and conversation across every organization. So, what is your take on gender equality?
As we celebrate the International Women's Day, I believe it's crucial to acknowledge that gender equality is still a pressing issue in our society. Despite some progress, the statistics reveal that there's still a significant gender gap in the various areas. Like for instance, according to a recent report by World Economic Forum, it still states that the gender parity will not be achieved for over a century if the current trends continue. This fact itself emphasizes that the both genders are not yet equal in terms of opportunities, representations, and even pay. Like, while I also give it that there is a significant fact and there's a lot of advancement that's happening in education, workforce participation, but still women continues to be underrepresented in the leadership position. Like across various industries, let's talk about the corporate world. Like corporate world itself, there's a very small percentage of women who hold a senior executive roles or the seats on the boards itself. So this imbalance itself shows that it's not only the limits opportunities for women professionals grow, but also it hindering the overall economic progress. So with this, yeah, there is a gender equality inequality, I would say. So with all this in place, I would say to build more inclusive or equitable society, like where individuals are not judged by their gender, but it should be on their ability and the contributions. That will help to go ahead. Like as a women leader myself, see, I completely and I always like a go getter for this, and I commit saying that promoting this diversity and inclusion initiatives that will create more equitable environment for everyone regardless of gender. It's only based on their ability and their opportunity to thrive and succeed.
No, very true, I would say. And it's just that we have to continuously make those small steps toward achieving that big goal. And
Yeah,
definitely, it's a long way.
right.
So,
Agree.
so Vishali, while this debate is going on gender equality, as per your experience, what are your perceptions? Because when you sit in a boardroom, or say even in general, when you're having some professional discussions, what's his voice versus her voice scenario?
Okay. See, as I earlier mentioned, there is an underrepresentation. So often it results that women's voice becomes marginalized or overlooked in a decision making process. So net it shows that the women needs to go that extra mile to get her voice be heard. So, and secondly, I always or I've heard or I've seen is mansplaining, like undermining a woman's credibility and authority, leading to her voice being dismissed or even like devalued. So this could not be intentional. So it always so happens that the man saying that, okay, let me put across my point. I might need to support them. So there it takes over. And I also, the other thing that I would like to bring across is the perception of a woman being like labeled as loud or aggressive when you try to put across your voice. Like it so happens that, oh my God, this person is so aggressive. They want to just push their point across. But I think that when we speak up or assert ourselves in a professional setting, it's a common issue that we always face across that. So with these, we need to, like as a women leader, I would say that while it's there because the majority is like its representation of women is less, you need to put across your points and go with facts. Whatever the noises happens at the sides, go with the fact. While these issues require a concerted effort, like to promote this inclusive culture where all the voices are heard and valued, regardless of the gender. Like whether it could be like when somebody is talking, we need to go with that open mindset. Okay, let's give that ear and listen to them. Then I think we
Yeah.
can get this gender equality in place and create an environment that would encourage diverse perspectives. And that itself would, I would say, that would empower women to contribute more in the boardroom and beyond as well. In every stage, in fact.
No, and while these perceptions are there are many times certain campaigns, initiatives are being taken very loud and out, even by the organizations. So, what do you think about these initiatives? How is the performance of these initiatives if you were to assess them?
See, I agree there's a lot of initiatives that's a good thing that like companies have seen that okay, there's a lot of initiatives that we need to come across and promote this gender equality and inclusion. While these are there, I would say there should always be checkpoints, whether these are really performing and how do we do that? Assess the performance of these initiatives. How do we see whether when there's a women in leadership position, are they being heard? Are we seeing that there's no like gender pay gaps are there? Is a pay for that position is a pay the same, or for women it's a different scale, or for men it's a different scale? So these are the various parameters. While a lot of initiatives all the organization pushes across, I firmly believe for everything that we do there should be a performance check to see and rate us ourselves whether are we really putting a check on that and are we improving the performance, or does it really needs a tweak to it. So based on that, I would say if these initiatives are there and regular checkpoints are there, then yes, these will really help for the inclusive and diversity factor.
Okay. And apart from these regular checks or say regular assessment in the entire cycle, do you think when they are conceptualizing these initiatives, something needs to change? Because these initiatives are something which were being maybe set a few years ago. So, basis the kind of evolution and the generation that is churning up in the employment sector, do you think there is any change requirement also at that point?
Yes, I would say like while I would see any companies like the kind of I've been outside fortunate enough to work with a lot of big fives, a lot of companies, tier one, tier two. Everyone has a similar set of initiatives that's come across. So I think while like for example, like there is a lot of like everybody vouches and says that mentorship should be there, but I would really say that mentorship should move to sponsorship. While mentors are there and they tell us that yeah, they provide guidance support, fair enough, but I say that sponsors are the one who actively work with us, open doors and help advance the career of the prodigy. That's what matters because that is what will give us that advocacy and support. If those things come in, I think then there's no looking back. Then you're just rather than saying that I'm mentoring, you're saying that you're sponsoring, you are being that person's advocate, talking the whatever is the good points, you're guiding them through their career and putting them in that scale. That itself, you're making another fellow women leader to grow as well.
Okay, that's amazing. And Vishali, reflecting on your entire career, if I say, versus the new generation or the Gen Z, which is coming in the workforce now, what difference do you observe between then and the new workforce?
Okay. So there is a difference, I would say. So the difference in this work culture, like when I started off my career and the new generation, particularly the Gen Z, it's very evident. So like when I began my professional journey over 2 decades back, like there was a strong emphasis on like respecting the authority, working diligently and waiting for recognition through the hierarchical structure. So it was also ingrained in us that never question the authority, just follow that path. I think it's not
Mm-hmm.
only the corporate, it was also imbibed in our upbringing, saying that never question an authority, what is told to you, just go ahead with that.
True.
But today, in contrast, when I see the new generation, like Gen Z appears to have more proactiveness, assertive approach to their careers, and I give it to them. Kudos. They're more
Mm-hmm.
comfortable challenging the status quo. Like why? What?
Yes.
Tell me why. And they want immediate feedback. There's nothing like that. Okay, I'm going to wait for that cycle. They want it now. Tell me now if there's something
Mm-hmm.
wrong. And also, this is what is helping them, like what they need, and they choose the kind of workplace that they want to be. And this generation, I really, what I love, the best part is the demand for transparency and flexibility. That's the best part that I would really love what is happening in Gen Z.
And Vishtali, there's also one thing with this kind of the perspective that they're bringing there and the kind of attitude that they have in the workforce. Many also cite that they don't have professional boundaries, or at times it's been seen that they need to prove themselves a lot. So, what do you think about these two perspectives regarding their attitude?
More than attitude, I would say like say approach to their career progression from a Gen Z perspective to what we were looking at is a
Mm-hmm.
bit different. And like our generation, we were in terms of how we need to prove ourselves, and like the way Gen Z needs to do it is a bit different. So Gen Z individually may not necessarily need to adhere to the same standard. I would say, okay, what I did, put your head down, wait for your chance. No, I would not say that. But end of the day, I would say Gen Z tend to prioritize, like as I said, the transparency. So while they have the passion, all the good things are in place. Just have that patience level, I would say. Just have that patience level and have that
Okay.
eagerness for the growth and learning. Because I would say even till date, I have so many things to learn. I'm not still done. So while the path is going after this conversation, I'm so fortunate that I learned so many things from Pratik as well. So
Mm-hmm.
similarly, I think we should go with this open mindset that every stage there's something that's there for us to learn. And let's wait. I'm not saying wait like us, but wait, at least give it a good amount of time to get those concepts in place, because while we have studied whatever in theory, the practical is totally different. So it's the on-world,
True.
real-time world example is what teaches us what we need to do it. While that is done, then yes, go ahead. That's the only, I would say, a tweak in their attitude. Just have some patience. Just don't give up. Because what I've always seen is they come in 3 months, 6 months. I want this. You won't get it. Okay, I'm done. I'm going for the next one. That should not be there, I would say. At least give it some more time, because for everything, while you guys are superb, you guys will learn quickly, but also give it some time to digest, because there are many other factors that come and hit you. While you get that growth, then you'll not be able to handle it. I would say just have
Mm-hmm.
a little bit of patience. Then you'll get
Okay.
going.
That would be a great piece of advice for the Gen Zs. And on the same line, if I were to ask you, Vishali, that if you go back in time, what advice would you give to your younger self 20 years ago?
You'll be surprised, Pratik. I would actually say none. You know why? Because
Great.
I was then, I think I was the same, challenging the status quo and questioning, asking why. And I used to go and ask, I deserve this, I need this. So maybe at that part of the time, I was standing out because I was completely different from my peers or my colleagues who were there. So, and that's what I would say, like, whatever that strong sense of that self and the confidence that I had, I was approaching, never had that like wall or boundary I'd drawn for myself. That what brought me till here, I would say. So honestly,
Okay.
no regrets. Like it just took time, but end of the day, I was behaving like the one. Today it's become a like a status quo. That's how the Gen Z is. But then it was something different that always, and hence you won't believe it. That's why I was really always told that, oh my gosh, she's so aggressive, she's so loud. But I'm okay. I take this all that as like, okay, you guys have, it's a compliment for me. That's the way I am.
That's an amazing answer, I would say, Vishali. And kudos to you, because standing for yourself for that, with that confidence that, even if you're aggressive, it's okay. That's just me.
Yeah.
They need to adapt. So that's an amazing thing to learn from you, I would say. And with that, we conclude our conversation. And it was an honor to have this conversation with you, hearing out your perspective, your opinions. And a very key takeaway that from this conversation would be adaptability, be it as a person or even for the organization. The times change. And as you mentioned, change is the only consistent, and we need to adapt to the changing times. That is the only key. And I'm sure we're going to achieve the goals really fast with that kind of approach.
Yeah, agree with you. And thanks, Prati, for giving me this opportunity and giving me this platform where I could share my perspective and add that teeny weeny bits to what we can do for the women empowerment. Thanks a ton.
The pleasure is all ours, Vishali. Thank you so much.
Thank you.